And then it goes check, check, and we are losing with ace-5. Like ace-5 is not supposed to win this hand after we check called. Oh, king 8 suited. Yeah, I also already took a look at this hand. Yeah, mirror is called. This is like totally standard. And then there's a check and the bet. And yeah, now I want to know from everyone here what would be your decision. And I want to start with Dimitri. What would you do here?
I like a raise or
Okay.
a fold.
Okay, explain, please.
Well, we got double backdoors.
Mm-hmm.
So on many turns, we can just barrel again or give up.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a fold, because I don't think we can face a second bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Andy?
I kind of think that's pretty cool. A raise or a fold. I thought about calling, obviously, with the back doors, but if he bets again on the turn, it generally becomes really, really expensive. Well, it could become expensive to realize any form of backdoor equity if we want to obviously call. So I would probably do the same, raise or fold. More than likely, probably fold, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's my input. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Matthias?
Yeah. So I probably don't like the raise. I mean, I agree we have backdoor draws, but the thing is we are playing against the button, and I recognize that a lot of regulars are playing with a low VPIP on the button, so around like 25%, so way lower than ours, and therefore they are more often like Broadway heavy. And therefore, I don't see too many bad folds here on a queen 10 board. So therefore, I would either call or fold. Yeah, I would probably just call and see what happens on the turn. So, I mean, yeah, that's my plan. I mean, he's just betting small, and we're getting 4-1, and I mean, there is some playability on later streets with our hand, so therefore, I'm not folding at this point.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So a lot of different plays here. Yeah. So I first show you what the solver is doing. I already did the hand here. So it is queen 10 deuce. It is like good enough. And so you see like opponents still should bet quite frequently. And we don't have the 1.5 big blind sizing, but we have like 1/3 or like 25% sizing. And we have the half pot sizing, and we have like what is it, like a 3/4 pot sizing. And our opponent should bet mainly one, yeah, like pretty small, mainly here, but with a lot of range. So if he's betting, we take a look at king 8. It is mixing the backdoor, like the backdoor, it would be here in this case the king 8 of diamonds. However, he want to mainly raise. And king 6, for example, will mainly call, but a couple other will just want to always raise. Yeah, for example, like king 9 is also almost always raising, but also like mixing. By the way, king 7, king 8 are like rejams here, GTR wise. I think that's why they are not at 100% here. So now, do I agree with the solver or not? What I actually I think it is very important to be aware about our opponent's sizing. Like, what is our opponent normally betting here? And is he deviating from it, right? Because a lot of regulars are, their standard sizing here would be like a 2.5 or a 3 big blind sizing as a c-bet or check back quite frequently as well. And if this is the case, then the 1.5 big blind sizing is more likely rather weak. and we can attack it with these type of hands here, right? Then I would prefer a raise. By the way, what I also wanted to show is if our opponent is betting half pot, then we already have a pure fold here with the king 8. Okay, we don't really have too much equity here, and we shouldn't raise or call. We are just purely folding, and yeah, not even raising the king 9 here with the backdoor straight draw. I mean, with the backdoor flush draw, back to straight draw. So be aware about the sizings. If someone is betting half pot here, we can't really call. We are just folding 53% of our range, but we are continuing still with 47%, with mainly calling, a couple of raises as well, mainly with a very strong queen access here. So this was like the theory. I actually think I sometimes ask myself, like, where will I do more mistakes? And I think like there are two different type of mistakes you can do here. If you're check raising, you can do mistakes, right? For like on turns or rivers. But if you're just calling, you can also do mistakes that are not that obvious, right? For example, like then there's a turn. You could fold too much, you could call too much, but also like if it goes check on a turn, and then you are standing on the river, like, is this a bluff on the river or is this a check, right? Because does our king high really have too much showdown value versus a button range, or should we bet to fold out a couple of ace highs, and are we over bluffing or not? Like, this is not as easy. This is really not easy to play here as a check call. So with check calling, this is just like hoping that there's a good card on a turn, and then on the good card on a turn, we can still make quite a lot of mistakes, because sometimes we might have to jam the hand on the turn, but we will just call and play it passively and never winning a showdown, right? Like if you take here at the look at the solver, let's just make a scenario. So the king 8, let's just call, and then there is let's say there's a 9 of diamonds. Let's see what would be the plan. Check, our opponent should bet like let's say he's betting like on a bigger sizing, and then king 8 is, you see, this is a jam, almost always a jam. And I think also, by the way, also with the king 8 of hearts, and I think like we are not really playing aggressively enough here in a lot of these spots. So with playing the passive line, we will make quite a lot of mistakes as well on the good turns, on the turns why we are on the turns we are actually calling for, right? And also like maybe we might also do mistakes on the like bet call, and here let's say it's not the 9, it's just like a blanky card, say 6 of spades, and it goes check on a turn. Then king 8, you see, it is 100% bluff here on the river at 100% frequency. Even, I mean, we are anyways betting like 75% of the time. We are bluffing here a ton. And I think that these bluffs are not getting made, right? And when this bluffs, like here, no weak pair is high, no mate hand, you see, no mate hand is almost always a bluff. But we are also betting weak pair very often. Mid pair is like a value bet, clear value bet, etc. So I think actually most of us are playing this spot as a check call pretty bad, right? And it is, in my opinion, a little bit easier to play it as a check raise, because you are check raising. And then let's say there would be the 9 of diamonds. It would be pretty obvious that we are just going to bet here, right? Because we are picking equity. And on a blank, let's say again, it's the 6 of spades. We are just checking, and this is like more natural, right? Because we are giving up. We didn't pick up equity, so we are just giving up. We are going for the check fold. Let's say it's just a low diamond. Then we are continuing, we are betting always because we picked up equity, right? And this is way more natural to play with the check raise here. And that's why I would pick this line here over the check call line, even though the solver is sometimes check calling. And I might even agree that a fold might be better than actually a call. And I really like to play sometimes around with the solver because that makes me realize how bad I actually play in a couple of spots. Because I wouldn't have, in my life, I wouldn't have played so aggressively here on the check here. This is like crazy. This is crazy how much he's bluffing, and how loose the solver is value betting here. Or is someone playing like this? I don't know. Are you guys still here?
Yeah, we are still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Against the button, you often want to bluff king highs and ace highs on the river. Am I correct?
Yeah,
And
correct. You're bluffing
I
like basically everything. You're not
yeah,
bluffing like king queen or something, but yeah, ace high may I don't know. Was ace high a bluff actually?
no, I mean we want to bluff his ace highs and his king highs
Versus
and
his ace highs,
yeah.
yeah.
And I mean he has so many of them, and I think I'm definitely not bluffing enough in this spot.
Yes, because you think, okay, everything busted and he will call so much, etc. But is this really the case? Because you will bet pretty big, like, right? So you're betting like pot or something on the river, and then the opponents will just fold. And very, very fast, you will know the opponents where you probably shouldn't do it, right? You know these guys where you probably shouldn't bluff too much. But with good opponents, I think still we are way too passive in a lot of spots, and yeah, we can learn from it. Check. Yeah, where is the bluff? This is like the best card to bluff because this improves your range so hard. Yeah, let's see this interesting run out actually with the 9. What was it? Sorry. Okay, 6 and 9. Let's do it here. 6 of spades, and the river is a 9. Doesn't really matter. Okay, here we are not bluffing, not bluffing anymore. I mean, we are just using different sizing because the 9 is also good for your opponent's for our opponent's range. But king 8 is a pure big bet bluff, and this is 5 big blinds into 6. This is like 80%. Yeah. No mate hand. You see it here. No mate hand. Vamos. No mate hand. Gib ihm. On German it would be gib ihm. Ace
Yeah.
highs. Ace highs are betting small. This is interesting. Like, why? Is this a bluff? What does he has to call? He has to call king 9. No. He's calling weak pairs. He's folding ace highs. So with ace highs, we're trying to fold out better ace highs. With the small bet, and you see, with the small bet, our opponent should fold ace king always. And I think we might get bluff catched a little bit more frequently here, but not on a, maybe not on a 9, right? Maybe not on a 9. And ace jack should get bluffed, but nobody is bluffing ace jack here. I mean, some guys might. Okay, super interesting. Sorry guys, maybe a little bit too much time on this hand, but I think we could learn so much in this little hand here. So check call is a little bit suboptimal because of the main reason is this, like not bluffing on the potentially best river card to bluff. And then it goes check, and we are losing with ace 5. Like ace 5 is not supposed to win this hand after we check called, right? So he won even though he shouldn't, and that's why he made quite a huge profit here in this hand here. Okay, but Matthias, it's not like you don't have to be ashamed or something, because I would play the same in probably 20% of the time. I would raise a little bit more frequently, but to be honest, if I'm playing 6 tables, I'm missing the raise here, and I'm probably folding a little bit too much. So yeah. And also, like, you see the sizing, 1.5 big blinds with the ace 5, it might be something you can exploit, because especially on the 10s and 25s, you can exploit the regulars quite heavily.